What's up, guys? Our live conversation today is going to be about consignment and what do you guys do when somebody offers you, hey, you're a reseller, do you want to sell my stuff? How does that conversation go? What do you guys do? I forgot to turn on the live on YouTube part before we started the call earlier. So I just wanted to make the second half of the conversation live and let me know in the chat, what do you guys do if the items are in your niche? Let's say that they're exactly what you sell. Somebody asks you to sell their items for you. Do you say yes? Do you say no? How do you approach it? And does it have to be a certain dollar amount? Will you do some sorting for them, like drop off your whole collection? I'll take care of it for you. Sally says, my business model does not allow consignment sales. The I guess most professional answer is I'm not set up to do that. Thank you though, because somebody maybe a year ago said they went to Goodwill and they said, can you guys sell me bulk? I know this is not the Goodwill bins, but before you guys send your items to the Goodwill bins, will you just sell them to me instead? And the store manager said, we're not set up for that, but thank you. That's a great answer because you're not really set up necessarily to do consignment. I think one of the key parts of consignment is accounting. Are you diligent enough to line by line figure out what somebody is owed and due? Because like, assuming they want to get paid back, how do you keep track of all those items? Is it just worth it to just buy it straight out from them? So Mitch, I don't know if you can chat. How do you buy it out from them? What's the offer that you make? Or do you have them offer first?
Yeah, I just pretty much tell them that I'm not set up for it, just like you said previously, and then tell them that I'll buy it from them if it's at a decent price where I can make a profit. If not, I just walk away. It's kind of
what is a decent price that you can make a profit on?
if I was buying from somebody else to resell, I would probably I wouldn't do more than 30%.
Okay.
I'd buy whatever it is for 30% of the value, and then resell it.
Then how do you determine the value? Sorry, I'm grilling you this morning.
That's all right. No, I look it up on eBay or Amazon or just Google.
Okay. So I'll give you a couple scenarios. I'm going to bring you $100 item. So the solds on eBay say 100. So you would offer me $30 for it?
Probably. If I knew the person, and if I made more than that, then yeah, I would probably, if it was a friend or something, I would probably kick back a little bit more to them. Yeah. After it sold. But for the most part, I try not to go over 30%.
So what if they say, this item is easy to sell. Why don't you kick me back 50 and you don't have to pay me until after you sell it? No,
can't do it. I'll walk away. You know, it's not feasible for me to do that because of fees and whatnot. I couldn't do it, especially with taxes to boot. So it wouldn't be feasible.
The tax scenario, this is important to point out, is the same as if you buy something. There's no difference between. So don't let the taxes prevent you from doing consignment because it's the same.
No, but that's just another step in the ladder that you consider, you know.
That's true. Also, from my experience, it's actually more difficult for them tax-wise than for us, because for us, we already have cost of goods in our business. Like we could buy something from someone, that's cost of goods. When you write a check to someone for their consignment, that's your cost of goods. It's the same. It's easier. It's easier for me. If I was doing consignment and that's all I did, the taxes would be easier because it's just checks going out to people. And if it's above a certain amount, I have them fill out a 1099, like in this scenario. So this situation where I consigned, I would say it's the market value of the items is probably 100,000. I was telling her, I'm not interested in getting all the money for the items. I'm just going to liquidate your items. So I sold her items for 40,000, but they were worth 100. So if these types of items went on the eBay and you wanted to wait a long time, then you could get 70,000 or maybe even a bit more if you were the actual seller. But she was opting for cash now. So I had her fill out a 1099. And in my consignment terms, I put, I can sell these however I want to. So, and next time I'm going to say, you can't come to the auction, because it was like really annoying that she was in every single one of the shows.
Wow.
So in the future, like, I don't, are you even allowed to be in the house if you're selling a house?
Yeah, I honestly don't know. Maybe different states have different rules. I don't know.
Yeah. I just think it's, can the homeowner really say something that's going to sway you, or is it get in the way of the realtor?
I would say it gets away in the realtor. Because if I was buying a house, I wouldn't want the homeowner there telling me all the pros. I want to look for myself and talk to the realtor. I want to know what really goes on, you know?
That's true. The homeowner is not going to say, we had this crack over here on this wall, but we painted over it.
Don't worry about that flood that happened last year. We got it taken care of, you know? But no, as far as consignment goes, it's just not, it's a lot of legwork for pretty much the same amount of profit.
So Mitch, what's your category?
Oh, I'm clothing, mainly jeans.
Okay, so let's say I want to sell you my jean collection, and it's worth 50K. So it's a significant amount of money. So if I say I want to split it 50-50 with you, and I'll do consignment in that scenario, is there a dollar amount that it makes sense for you and it's in your category?
I don't know. If I just think it's hard to. Basically, I'm not there yet. I'm not that far into it, but I know what you're saying. I just don't think that it's viable to go over 30%, no matter what category you're in. You know what I mean? If I was a high-end seller, yeah, I would consider that. But I'm not. I'm more or less the same model that you had.
Yep.
And I just can't see forking out that kind of money for something that I'm not 100% sure of. Because recently I just went and I did a big bulk purchase and I got a bunch of bales of jeans, you know, unprocessed, still had the thrift tags on them, and they're doing well. You know, I'm making money every day from them. But that was the biggest purchase I ever had. So I'm working through it, and I feel comfortable that I'm hit the I bought them outright. I don't have to answer to anybody. You know what I mean? I don't have to do all the paperwork. I don't have to do the 1099s for somebody else. I fill out a receipt. They sign it, and then what they do with their taxes is on them. What I do with mine is on me. So that it's just easier. You know, that's where I'm at right now.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mitch.
No problem.
Keith, I haven't called on you before. What's going on? Has anybody ever offered, can you sell my stuff for you? Can you sell my stuff for me? Hopefully you can chat.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. But yeah, occasionally somebody will say, hey, I know you sell on eBay. So how about selling this for me and stuff? I normally just avoid it. I'm like, you know what, I got so much stuff I can't even get my own stuff listed, but I'll show you how to do it. And that normally stops the conversation.
You know, this is interesting because in theory, if you only sell other people's stuff, you don't have any cost. Like it's somebody else's investment. It's just your time, but pretty much everyone passes.
Well, in my case, I normally buy things so cheap when I'm sourcing that
Yep.
I wouldn't pay 50% of the value unless it was something really nice.
Yeah.
I was going to make a lot of money on. But for the most part, I'd make more money selling my own death pile than I would taking on somebody else's.
Yesterday I was looking at a watch dealer, and this is so crazy to me. He said that the average profit he makes on a watch is $300, and the average cost is 11,000.
Wow.
Like look at the like insane amount of money you would put up to make $300 in a scenario where he does 99% consignment. He doesn't front $11,000 to make 300. He fronts zero, but he is making 300 per sale. And if you do that to me makes sense. What I don't understand is the middle, like there's a lot of people who do the middle model of consignment. And I think that always fails because like you said, maybe you just make a significant more amount of money if you just buy it outright.
Right. And I have enough stuff. I really don't need any help sourcing.
What category are you in?
Mainly collectibles and such. I'm an opportunist. I sell. I'm an everything seller.
Yep.
But I try to lean toward collectibles, antiques, vintage, that kind of
So
stuff.
where are you getting your stuff?
Mainly at local flea markets, estate sales, etc.
So how do you negotiate a better deal? Do you usually bundle items together? How are you getting items for cheap?
Yeah, I do try to bundle. Most vendors I've been doing a little while now, and I can talk to them and be like, well, put a few things together, and then I always make sure I seen on YouTube one time a guy said never put a value on the item for him. He's like, if you walk up and you see an antique gilded picture frame, don't be like, hey, how much do you want for this antique gilded picture frame? Because then they know you value that item. Always just walk up and say, what do you got on this? What do you got on that? Never name the item. Just do a general, what do you want on this? He said, because they're going to put enough value on it. You don't need to overvalue it yourself. I thought
that is so interesting.
And
Because if you say how much for those 5 baseball bats, it's different than how much for that pile.
yeah.
That is it. I never actually.
And as far as like how much, not just what do you want for the bat, but how much do you want for that? I don't know. It's been a long time since I played baseball, but going to the brand and the model. How much do you want for that Easton TPX 2000 over there? It's like they're immediately like, oh, this guy wants it. He knows it down to the model. That's a great tip, Keith, man.
Yeah, I have actually never said. I always say what it is, like how much for this pile of clothing, and they're like, that automatically tips them off that you're a clothing seller.
Yeah, this came from a YouTube guy that I probably watched 5 or 6 years ago. He's not even on. I think he only made like 10 videos, but I appreciate the one.
Wow, that's like, because you know what, you could even confuse the buyer or the seller by mixing the lot. And then let's say, for example, you put an antique telephone, 4 pairs of jeans, and a toaster, and you really want the toaster. And then he makes you a deal, and you're like, oh, what if I take out the antique clock? And he's like, oh, okay, then it's 80% cheaper. And you're like, gotcha.
Yeah, that actually sounds like my sourcing pile.
I love it. That's cool. Okay, so I'm gonna use that. I love that. Thank you for that tip. That was worth the price of admission. That's a good one.
Thank you for your tips.
I love it. Don, how's it going? I haven't talked to you at least in a while. Can you chat? Let's see. I don't know if he's available. Don, what's up?
Oh, not much. How's it been?
Has anybody ever offered for you to sell their stuff for them?
No,
No?
I'm still working on it. It's a slow work in progress.
So where are you in the journey?
Pretty much just starting. I'm just getting set up. Just got some shelves.
You selling some stuff around the house?
Yep, that's where I'm starting. I'm starting to sell my own stuff. It's actually, the funny thing is I bought some clothes to resell, and my own stuff is going faster than clothes.
I mean, definitely. Clothing is traditionally a slower category.
Yeah.
The reason people
What Tech
get
said.
clothing is it's abundant.
Yeah, it is. That Tech said the same thing.
Yep. Let's go to the other Don. I didn't realize there was more than one here today. Oh wait,
Oh,
oh, that
there
is
is.
you. I got you. I was like, okay, great. I love it. Let's see. Who else can we call on? How about you, James? Have people offered you to sell their things?
Plenty of time. Similar to what Keith was saying, actually, family and friends more so, especially when I started eBay. The first thing people say is, what do you do for a job? And this is people who I don't know. Oh, I sell on eBay. The response is always, I've got loads of crap at home you can sell for me. You know, pop over and come and sell my crap for me. So, yeah, get all the time. And at the start, it was tempting to be like, yeah, I'm happy to help out. You know, what have you got? Let me try and sell that for you and maybe split it 50-50. And then you quickly realize actually your time is more valuable than that, and actually spend more time sourcing items yourself and selling for yourself. So I kind of direct them on how to do eBay, but I don't sell for people.
Some people had mentioned in the chat that you can mess up a friendship or family with consigning too. I guess anytime money is involved, it can be fuzzy.
I completely agree there. And it's quite funny because when I did say to someone, I'm happy to sell it for them, straight away, they're like, well, I've seen on eBay, it goes for this much. So what are you going to do it for? You get sort of do it for a $5 and you give me all the profit kind of thing. But then you've got to realize as well that, I mean, for myself, I do 30-day returns, but even with PayPal and stuff, people can claim the money back within 6 months.
Sure.
So that person's off with the profit they've made on the sale. And then you might have to have the conversation with them to say, look, they've returned it. I need to refund them. So you need to give that money back to me to refund them X, Y, and Z. So I think that's where relationships can be difficult when it comes to helping out family and friends. So yeah, you need to keep that in mind.
You know, what's interesting is it depends on your friendship and your relationship with that person. Because you can just tell your friend, just give this to me.
Yeah. And lots have, I must admit, when I've been starting, lots of family and friends have given me some really good stuff where I've actually them, look, let me give you some money. And they're like, no, look, it's going to help you out. Yeah. But you have got a certain friends and family type who actually do all the work and take all the money.
Right. And then other friends, I guess you're trying to help them out. You could overpay a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it depends on your like, hey, normally, you know, I don't consign for other people. And since you're my friend, I'll give you more than I would normally pay for this item because I know I can sell it and that's it. You don't go back later and say, I discounted this item 3 times and it still hasn't sold. I want my money back. You wouldn't do that.
I know. It's difficult though. Yeah.
So Linda's saying the biggest thing is when you list all their stuff and it doesn't sell. That is very interesting. That could happen. That's why I put on the terms, I'm literally going to auction all your items starting at $1. And if they don't sell, then I'm going to create lots of your stuff and start it at $1. It's going to all be gone. I'm not going to keep any of this stuff. We'll go to Catherine and then David. Catherine, what's up?
Well, James makes a good point that, you know, when they want you to resell something for them, first of all, often it's crap that you would not sell. It's like, I have 500 Precious Moments figurines. And you're like, okay, really hate Precious Moments. Sorry to anybody out there that likes Precious Moments. And you don't want to tell them that you don't want to sell their stuff. You don't like their stuff and it's not going to sell very well. So I just say that's not in my niche, or, you know, that's not what I'm set up to do. But also, even if you did agree, you're providing the storage, you're providing the poly mailers, you're providing the labels. And so you can't ever really do 50-50 split because you're putting so much more into it in addition to your time than they're putting in. And many of your friends and family or even strangers don't understand how much goes into the business. So I would not. I did consignment one time for a friend. And of course, they said the same thing James said. I looked on eBay and these can really go for a lot. Well, but yours aren't.
Well,
and
even if they are, there's more to it to sell, you know.
And I felt guilty if they didn't sell right away. You know, I'm like, he's probably wondering like why it's not selling, or, why he's not getting his money. And it was just, I didn't care for it. Did we get to see baby?
Makes sense. David, what's up?
Unsure if this has already been like answered, but wouldn't it make more sense to say buy the item off them?
You
just
and I guess
undergoing price.
the determination is like, if you have a good relationship with the person, you should be able to come to an amicable agreement. Like maybe they really need the money, so you overpay a little bit, or maybe they want to get rid of some items, and then you tell them you try to underpay a little bit.
Exactly.
Let me think here. Trying to think of an example if I've ever paid. I've never paid like, okay, let's say that somebody's selling something worth 100. After fees, let's say that you could get $70 for it. I've actually never said, you know what, you're in a bind, I'll give you $70 for it. That's what you would get if you sold it yourself. Because that would be like, you're trying to help the person. If they're trying to get some cash, maybe you do that for them to help them out. It's better than giving them a loan they don't pay back, or I don't know. I just like if you're trying to help somebody out that's in the bind, I think it's a different situation too. Then I saw this sells for 500 on eBay. Can you give me $320 for it? That doesn't work. So Philip, what's up?
I was just going to mention, like, while we're on this topic, I've been making a point for probably like the past 2-3 weeks of at least meeting 1 or 2 people, either at their house or storage units. And like the thing I've noticed pretty quickly, like even from yesterday, is that the people who want space, they're not really looking for the money. They just want to get rid of it. And the people who need the money are trying to squeeze like every penny out of it. So it could be kind of like a more difficult interaction. But I guess it's just a matter of like kind of trying to feel them out and seeing why they're looking to sell it, if they need the space or if they need the money.
Ryan, I think I would do consignment, but it has to be a certain dollar amount.
What Philip just said is why I don't buy stuff from people that I know. Because like a lot of the times they're looking for the money, and like I don't want to tell them that these being practically new isn't the same as brand new on eBay. And like, although you bought them for $50, I can't pay $15 for them. Like I find it way too difficult, so I just don't do it usually.
Yeah. Also, one more thing that's very interesting is that here, I have lived in the Bay Area for 13 years. I've lived here. Since I have lived here, every single consignment shoe shop has gone out of business. There's not one that exists. I know Flight Club does really well. They're in New York City, in LA, and in Japan. But like, I don't understand the shoe consignment model. I see 2J's Kicks. That guy appears to be doing very well, but I don't really understand shoe consignment, because I feel like you have to sell the shoes for full price. People don't like paying full price for shoes. So do all those stores eventually?
People don't like paying full price for pre-owned shoes. It's not necessarily the case with new shoes.
But I'm saying even with new shoes, like I don't want to pay full price. So like every single shoe is full price makes it like, I feel like eventually those, in the beginning, maybe it's fine. But then once you get to the point where you need so much space and overhead to take care of all these shoes, that I don't know why all of those places go out of business. Tons of shops will open up in the first few months. They have 5,000 shoes in stock, 7,000 shoes in stock, and then they're gone. So I don't know what happens. That you would think with no cost of goods they could make it, but apparently not.
Margins just tend to be so low, dude. Like even with those like high-end shoe stores, their margins are really low. Like the ones that selling Jordans and Yeezys and stuff.
Yeah. Don, what's up?
Hey, I got a question for you or anybody else in the room. You know, you have the video of your photography station. I'm curious if anybody has one set up to where they can quickly change it to photograph different items.
I have Eleanor set up saved in the document, and she has the flat lay, and on the back of it, it's on wheels, and she can turn it around. In the back of it, she can photograph smaller items that are up to 30 or 40 inches wide.
Oh, wow.
So she has the sexiest setup. So I linked it in the document under Eleanor's setup, and you can look at it.
All right, thanks.
I also like that she can roll hers outside and do daylight. If the weather permits, daylight is awesome.
Idea. That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Brian's asking if I would do it on eBay after, because like we want to do things that work, and I feel like consignment doesn't really work on eBay. The only consignment that I've seen work on eBay is 99-cent auctions, because like all of it sells. So you have to convince the person that, so Catherine has a friend that gives her 1,000 precious moments. She has to convince her friend, okay, I don't want to list 1,000 precious moments. So what I'm going to do is make 50 lots of 20. I'm going to start them all at $1. And if they all end for $50, then I'm going to take $40 of it for my work. And I'm going to give you 50 cents for your effort. You just have to have the agreement crystal clear, and has to sell through all the way. Yeah.
What about Linda?
Go ahead.
What about Linda? Linda does it. Linda stuff.
Linda's stuff.
They do like 3,400 mostly consignment items a day or something like that.
I'm not sure that Linda's consignment is profitable.
Makes sense.
Because I was rude to her looking at her store. I was like, this looks like a nightmare. She's got like 13 different eBay stores inside of one eBay store. And, you know, it looks like a nightmare. I think that what Linda just said is why super high-end consignment can work, but you have to have the knowledge. The reason why Linda's stuff scares me is she gets some super high-end stuff, but doesn't get super high-end prices. And she has 100 employees. So they list 3,400 items with 100 employees. That's 34 items per person.
Yeah, it's like somewhere between, I get an email every day saying how many they list. It's like 3,400 to 4,000 or so, give or take. Sometimes it's 4,400, but usually it's between 3,400 to 4,000.
Yeah, that looks like a very complicated. She's got racks, she's got bins, she's got shelves. She consigns. I've even seen lawnmowers in her store before. So like, also, not that anyone cares, but I've sold 3 lawnmowers on eBay. I'm very happy about that. They're actually really easy to sell.
What about those bicycles, dude? What about those bicycles?
The bicycles were silly because, where I live is warm year round. So when you sell a lawnmower free pickup, it's fast. A bicycle is not. You're probably not going to get the all the money customer unless you ship the bike. So I was paying. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's so crazy? Like you see bikes at the thrift store all the time for like $10.
Oh man, bikes are like.
You could easily sell this thing, even on Facebook Marketplace, for like, triple this. But unfortunately, I decided to sell shoes for a living. So,
well, Isaiah, this is what I was thinking. Let's say you're not greedy. I think it would work because, like, for example, I bought I think it was just like a recent issue Schwinn kids bike. It was like $15 at Goodwill. I took a picture of it at Goodwill. And I priced it on Craigslist for $25, and somebody bought it like in an hour. That's me not being greedy. And I just took one picture of it at Goodwill, and then they bought it like that same day. But you're trying to get $70 for that bike. Now it's like, you got to do all the song and dance. And is it worth putting in your car for $10? Because when I saw that $3,000 Wolf countertop stove, and it was free on Craigslist, I'm just trying to think here. What would you guys do? I've already told this story, but it was $3,000 new Wolf stovetop. It was like in average condition. So probably worth market value $700, right? Wolf appliance, what everybody wants, the red knobs, super duper high end.
I need to get a house because I have no idea what you're talking about, but one day.
Do people know what Wolf appliances are? They're they're like,
Yeah,
really
I think anybody that's maybe into cooking or even watched a couple cooking shows at least. But yeah.
Okay, so I texted Tech. I'm like, okay, is this good for someone? Right. And he said, for you, no, but for somebody just starting, that's $50 on Craigslist gone in one day. So I tried that and I was greedy and I put it up for like 150 and nobody responded. But when I lowered it to 50, somebody came and got it the same day. So 0 in the 50. But
I saw I was gonna send you a message on Saturday. I had grabbed all my shoes and I saw a camera just there on top of the little gumball machines or whatever. And I was like, man, this camera has $5 on it. Like it was like some kind of old camera. I don't remember what model it was. I'm like, I could probably sell this thing for parts for like $20, $25, but I'm just like, dude, if you go down this rabbit hole once, Isaiah, every time you come back to this thrift store, you're going to be looking for a camera because you sold that one camera for $25. So I decided to decide.
No, that's right. The thing is like, Tech was like telling me that let somebody else be the idiot that tries to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fix it.
I was going to send it to someone else. Let them fix it. I was going to sell it.
Let them fix it. So get how crazy this is. The lady who this Wolf appliance is used. So a used stove, if you guys are not aware, has like years of kicked on grease, right? Which makes sense. So I put this up on Craigslist. When I lowered it to $50, like 4 people immediately inquired. And a lady came and picked it up. I cannot believe this. You ready? White interior Lexus car. She put this greasy ass 180-pound stove into the back seat of a white interior Lexus. I was like, are you sure you want this? Because someone will come here in a pickup truck. You want this? And she's like, yep, I want it. I'm going to rehab it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Maybe she had like some plastic wrap in the car, bro. You just didn't see it.
So I felt really weird. I was like, I'm not even comfortable giving you this stove because your car is going to get ruined taking this home. But she's like, do you have any cardboard? So we just put cardboard all over the interior of her car and put it in there. But I mean, I feel like the weight of that thing damaged the seat. Yeah, that's what he said. So he said, give it to the next bozo for $50. And it definitely, it's sold immediately. It's funny how Tech's brain works. Like that sells immediately at 50, never sells for 600. So,
but the consensus is to not do that, at least for people like us. Because if you pick that item up, you're gonna go back to the thrift and pick it up again, without a doubt.
Or you might be dropping it back off at Goodwill again.
That's also feasible. I feel like I could have sold that camera, dude. Like no cap, I could have sold it.
White interior Lexus, man. That interior is called E-Crew interior. It's like light beige. Like you would be scared drinking a soda in that car, but we put this.
No. You would be scared of drinking a soda in that car. She doesn't care. She puts stove tops in there.
Man,
she's chilling.
And she even had the audacity to say, I know exactly what to do with this. I'm like, no, you don't. No one knows exactly what to do with this. And if they did, they wouldn't pull up in this car.
No, they put it in. There's always a corner for stuff, dude. Like it's easy. You put it in that corner, and then when it's ready to graduate out of the corner, you either donate it or fix it. One of the two.
Man. Catherine, what's up? Maybe her hand is still raised. All right, guys on YouTube, thank you. We'll continue the call.